You know, sometimes you gotta sit back and think if the audience who's actually listening to this prefers it when I'm actually reading or reviewing the comic over reviewing the fic. I do hope that people actually prefer it when I'm actually reading the comic, because reviewing this fic is painful. So while Celestia takes Nyx back to the palace, Twilight has a sudden realization that maybe she should have told Nyx about the whole entire Nightmare Night incident months ago. Don't know why she didn't. Don't know why this occurred to her not to do it. Don't know how she forgot. Maybe this is why you shouldn't have a boyfriend, Twilight. Well, that's my opinion. Because apparently, boyfriends in these fics tend to remove all personality to you. Actually, I've noticed that happens a lot with bad fanfics when they give these characters OC boyfriends. Characterizations of the females just go out the window. Next in Twilight have their reunion, apologies are said. Celestia gives Nyx the bag of candy canes so she can find Flitter, the changeling. Oh, I mean, the filly who's disguised as a changeling, because this is a twist. You're going to immediately wonder why this guy keeps getting fics written. Applejack and Bruce Maine are having a conversation about how Applejack's been messing up sometimes, and Bruce Maine tells him about how Sweet Apple Acres will probably become really, really famous one day. As famous as the Rockefellers. Really? You couldn't have tried to bona fide that name, Reality Check? Were you just so limited in your imagination that you decided, nah, not gonna bother with that one? My God, when the Flintstones have more creativity than you, Reality Check, we've got words to speak. Well, you'll have words, I'll have a big rock. And Applejack moans about how hard it is for Big Mac and Granny Smith and her and Apple Blue dealing with Les. And Applejack, even if you were rich, you were still going to have to work hard on that farm. Hate to tell you this. But, then again, I'm guessing Reality Check lives in a big city, far away from farms, so he probably thinks that farming is easy. Even when you don't. Even when you have money. It must be so nice to live in his bland, naive world. Then an adorable little filly comes by, asks for his help, walks away, and it says that Bat Stallion's even a better hero than Mirtwell. Applejack compliments him, and Bruce Maine then asks Applejack if she's going to be as angry with him that he just called Bat Stallion a better hero than Mirtwell. We're going to go to a Mirtwell commentary, aren't we? Let's see. Yep. We are. You know, I'm trying to figure out how to best tackle this. If I should usually go on one of my more explosive rants, or point out something that's blatantly obvious about this whole episode. To all of you people who complain about this, every single one of you, I mean it, every single damn one of you, I want you to stop, look in the mirror, and then bitch slap yourselves. Because you are thinking too damn hard on a fun superhero moral that really, really doesn't deserve more examination than betrayal and all the other bullshit you guys put in it! It doesn't. It boggles my mind. It has for years. This episode. It's boggled my mind for ages of how this one episode, to what's to any normal person, yes, I'm calling all you people who analyze and think about too hard about this, not normal. To any other person, it was just a fun episode that followed the typical path. Character gets too big of themselves, gets shown up, then we see it's a trick, and we all have a good laugh. Why is it that in any other time, if this was done in any other kids show, it would have been laughed off. It would have been ignored. We would have had a good laugh about it. It's been a similar plot done a couple of times before. But no! People just keep harping and harping on it. Well, let me tell you straight. No. It doesn't need further examination or looking back. Rainbow Dash realized she had a big head. She decided to not stand by and just go, I'm glorified. She could still be a hero, just not having too big of a head about it. There's no need of betrayal. There's no need of, oh, they did this wrong, or, oh, they broke so many hearts. The ponies seem to be fine, because realistically, you saved the day for a little bit. People will tend to forget you. It happens. I'm sorry, but in real life, that's what usually happens. A guy saves a baby, is respected and turn into a hero for a few days, then they forget. Sorry to bust your bubble, but that happens. Not everybody turns to famous like the Flash. And people move on. I hate to tell you this, but that's the way the real world works. Yeah. It's interesting enough. Every time I read one of these ne'er-do-well blame stories, I think, how unrealistic is it? Because people move on. People forget. They forgive. They don't do this. I find ironic, because there are some ne'er-do-well stories that try to look back on it that I just love. I love Trinerary's story. Actually, now that I think about it, Trinity is the only one I like. So yes, I'm basically saying, get over the episode and move on. Alright? And all of that, because it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter to the grand scheme of the series. Alright? I've seen worse ways this could have been done. I've seen more stupid ways it could have been done. And believe me, this was a better episode. This was a lot of fun, and it really examined a lot of tropes, and it was silly. It was funny. People who complain this, do you comprehend the idea of funny? Because I really don't think you do. And in the end, what gets me is that I probably would have been fine with all this if it was... Okay, I wouldn't have been fine. I would have still been pissed off, and I probably would have complained to the character for being an author puppet. But maybe I would have felt a little bit better if this was Derpy, or Lyra, or Bonbon, or some other character. But it isn't. Oh, God, it's not. It's an OC who is a male. It's a male OC who's rich and doesn't even live in Ponyville. How sexist and misogynistic can you fucking get? I keep saying, Reality Check is a worse writer than Mikan. And he is. Oh, God, is he ever. Because, at least with Mikan's OCs, they're at least doing something else. They at least are doing heroics and actually are part of something. If this was Lightning Dawn doing this, I would still have problems. But, at the very least, at least he lives in the area. But Mikan won't. Because he goes after the main six for other things. But no. This is the worst case of sexism because it's a guy who lives there. He lives in Equestria. But he has nothing to do with the events at hand. So he's very, very much an even more author puppet than Lightning Dawn. And he, right now, is holding court over Applejack, over an event he wasn't there for. And essentially, this is a big, rich male looking down at a woman and saying, "You're wrong for doing this your way. By the way, could you get on your knees and suck my cock? Because I'm a man, and we men are better than you. We men are smarter. We men are better. Oh, by the way, did I mention you broke a little filly's heart? You broke my niece's heart. Well, tell your niece to grow a pair. I quite frankly don't care. If she devoted most of her life to some fictional character or some sort of character that just went around that she didn't even know, then, brother, put her in an asylum. She needs to get her brain checked. Oh, Colts and Phillies, where? Just where? Because you're now making shit up. You're now making shit up to make it sadder. And do you know what I've always said when it comes to, deconstructions? I've always said this. But if you have to go in and change a character or add stuff to a character to make it worse, congratulations. You're not writing a deconstruction, you're not writing commentary, you're just making shit up just to make your point look good. So congratulations, RC. You are a grade A sexist, misogynistic, racist bastard who is a liar. And again, I would almost be fine if this was an actual character, but it's an OC. So this is Reality Check, reminding us all who's the superior gender. Fuck you, you evil Gary Gygax impersonator! Applejack asked the obvious question. Was this all just so he could demean her? And Bruce Mayne tries to say no, but no, it's to purely demean her and to insult her. And Applejack, of course, being, the strawman character, has to go, "Yes, I'll see. I understand. I'll have to apologize to that filly of Rainbow Dance. Here, let me put in character Applejack. Get out! Don't know why I started dating you in the first place. Fucking idiot. How dare he tries to tell me how to live my life? Dash. Bastard! How dare you mock my friends? How dare you insult them? And how dare you think of how I feel? I don't care! Alright, I felt a little down, sure, who wouldn't? But, in the end, I accepted for what it was, I realized I was getting too ego, and I backed down. So, quite frankly, stick it up your ass! I still do love it when the real characters had to prove these strawmen wrong, because I get so tired of listening to these main characters sit back and go, I see. Like they're expecting you people to actually just do the same of just going, I see. Remember, free will's a gift. Don't waste it. Meanwhile, the entire plot part is continuing on with the cauldron, like you people really care. And Nyx asks Twilight about why Nightmare Night happened. And I've already complained about this and pointed out the faulty. You know, Reality Check in the comments is trying to defend this chapter, and I would break down his arguments and destroy them, but quite frankly, I really want to get back to the Flash, and I think you all want me to, but I will address 2 points. One, he's trying to pull off the old, well, it's not just me, it's the writers. It's the writers' fault for making me do this. Well, sounds like an abuser if you ask me. They always mess with Dash. Don't let Dash always be awesome. Unlike you, sir, who was bringing down Rainbow Dash not a few chapters ago. Never let her have a chance to sign. And then there was 28 pranks later. Oh, God. We're going to bring out that old chestnut, aren't we? Look, I could probably explain what happened with the whole Fluttershy thing. Yes, it is OOC. Here's what happened. The writers had an idea to have Dash go on a pranking spree. They thought it would be funny. They thought it would also be funny to do a zombie episode. They thought it would be silly. However, there who came from the original series who remembered exactly about Dash not pranking Fluttershy. Nobody told them. They completely forgot, because they're human. So thus they slipped up. The rest of the episode was all about following that lesson and having a good time. That's all they cared about. Because you know what their real thought was? It wasn't to bring Rainbow Dash down. It was to make you laugh. Tell me, did you laugh during those moments? Did you laugh during those scenes? If you found it to be silly, then congratulations. That's what they did. Lastly, did the kids find it funny? Congratulations, they found it funny. You, sir, suck. I got nothing else. I just wanted to point that out. Lastly, he tries to pull out a line that I just have to laugh as a Spider-Man fan. It's real easy to be a hero when the crowds are cheering your name. It's a lot harder when no one's cheering and they're holding you in scorn. Gee. I have so many others. Just laugh that off. Reality Check. I would say you're worse than cancer. But that would be an insult to cancer. You're worse than slime. Let's get back to the Flash, shall we? Oh, and to any of you who might want to misinterpret this, that I don't like certain great analysts and reviewers who might hold the same opinion, don't worry. I still love them. I love Silver Quill, Josh, Lightning Bliss, and all of them. I really do love them. Personally, I'm more fond of the lore and how they make me laugh more than their analysis, to be honest. I prefer the lore, I prefer how they interact with each other, and I prefer Brony D&D, definitely. Oh my god, dude, I could talk a whole video series about how much I love Brony D&D, but I still love their analysis because, quite frankly, they are intelligent. They do speak in a good way, but here's the difference between them and certain fanfic writers. When they do the analysis of these episodes, they don't come off as trying to insult you for liking the episode. They come off as if trying to give out their opinion and why they feel like the episode failed. My complaint is more towards whiny-ass bitches like Reality Check here, who can't seem to enjoy an episode and can't seem to do anything that will allow them to get over it. Oh, what about you, Jay? You were the first who invented the Flash identity. What secrets can you pass along?
Not a one. Listen, all three of us have our little sleights and stratagems. They were gifts of experience. But, you don't need me to be taught the tricks of the trade. You already have what it takes.
Jake Garrick walks closer to Wally, and then taps Wally's insignia.
It's in here. All I can give you is my faith flask.
Thanks, Jay. Flash? Whatever happened to Junior?
I call people by their names. And as far as I'm concerned, you've earned yours. Now, you say you have some big revelation about Barry?
And so I tell him. About the charred, half-destroyed book I found in the alley where Barry rematerialized. It's fair to say I've never seen anything like it. It's obviously destined to become a prize collectible. When I tell them what it reveals, they're stunned. But the real shock comes when I show them the book plate on the inside its front cover, and speak the name inscribed on it. At the sound of the words, Jay goes white, as do the others, once I explain who the name belongs to.
But how?
I have no idea. But I'm gambling I could trick him into telling us. I have a plan. But first, I had to set up something at the Flash Museum. It'll be up to you three to find him and get him in there. Leave the rest for me, and for God's sake, watch out for each other, Wally says as he puts on his cowl, leaving the other three speedsters to run towards where Barry is doing his work. Elsewhere, at the state pen in Central City.
So I told you I had the chance, Patterson.
Don't push it, cop killer. Just make yourself at home. Trust me. We promised 3 widows that Jack Brogan would be behind bars for a long time.
The police officer says as the guard proceeds to lock the felon behind bars. But in a second, a flash of wind brushes by.
What? Don't make promises you can't keep, Flatfoot. Today's your lucky day, boys.
The red blur says as every door is unlocked, releasing every single criminal within the pen.
The parole board's here.
Code 30! Code 30! This is Patterson at cell block 14! The Flash is here! He released all prisoners! Repeat! All prisoners are...
Over and out, Officer Nick.
The crook says as he begins to strangle the police officer with his cord.
Good lord! There's a full-scale breakout underway!
The warden says as the alarm starts ringing out loud.
Guards, start passing the riot gear, control gear. I want total armament. We have to shut this thing down.
Fast. However, he's not fast enough, as Barry Allen grabs all the guns behind him and the riot control gear and starts spraying it out amongst the prisoners.
Cover the main entrance. Be ready to fire.
Don't even think about it,
Barry says as he knocks the snipers' guns out of their hands.
All right, man. Grab a weapon and let's get moving. I'm going to blow this whole town wide open. But I'll need every con in this prison. After all, not even the fastest man alive could take an entire city by himself. Not without assembling his own private army.
However, as Barry says this, another whoosh of air is heard.
Hey, our guns! They disappeared.
Well, no wonder,
Barry says, wanting as the 2 speedsters start helping cleaning up the prison.
Look who's back for some more punishment.
What is this, seniors' night? Guess you 2 are due for another lesson.
Shut up,
Jay says, grabbing Barry's shoulder and then punching him right in the face.
Is it between you and them? It's between us. Get up and fight.
The Flash Museum. For years, it stood as testimony to the good works of Barry Allen. Last week, it hosted a battle royale. The Renegade Flash versus Green Lantern. Between them, they trashed this place. Damn, this is worse than I thought. I really have to search for what I need.
That's not good. It gives me an uncomfortable amount of time to doubt myself. Wally says this as he runs into the Friends of the Flash exhibit. How much of this plan is me being clever? And how much of it is a dodge to stall our final confrontation? If I had been behind 3 old men, then I intensely send them on a kamikaze mission.
Everywhere he runs, the statues are destroyed.
No. I have to trust myself. He's faster than all of us without preparation. We haven't a prayer. And when you're fighting a renegade Flash, every second's caught counts. Wally runs past the cosmic treadmill. Only I can race the clock to put certain events in motion. I'm afraid. That's true. I'm afraid of dying at the hands of a foe I can't possibly beat. But I won't run away from a fight, no matter what the odds against me. I was taught better than that.
As Wally says this, he runs by a statue of him running alongside the Flash.
There it is, under a fallen cabinet, the crucial piece.
Reaching in, he pulls out a small ring with a lightning bolt inscribed on it.
Now to lay out one last surprise. They say clothes make the man. Let's hope that's true.
With that, Wally West runs into the Rogues Gallery.
That's it, John. Move your hands swiftly enough. You can cut through the solid steel gun barrels like they were butter.
Max says as he does that, cutting off the guns and destroying them before they have a chance to fire. Johnny follows suit, destroying every single gun and decking every single escaped convict. The two working in perfect sync. Not a single convict has a chance to pull out a gun or even fire a round at the two speedsters.
No, Lexus Max. You may have been around a lot longer than me, but I'm no kid. I know what I'm doing.
As this carries on, Jay and Barry proceed to deck it out. Fists clashing, arms grappling, blows being laid. Each of them struggling to overcome the other.
They're doing faster. We've managed to keep the front line from advancing, but the cons in the back are about to break down to heavy artillery.
The two speedsters moving in blurs as more cons begin to escape to prison.
We need a weapon of our own.
One of the men fires a tear gas bomb. And Johnny can only smile as he goes,
"I'll think that'll do."
Absolutely. Another blow is struck as the two Flashes begin to struggle, fighting, punching. Soon, one of Jay's uppercuts manages to destroy Barry's cowl, while Barry manages to knock off Jay's helmet.
Bad move, boys. Never use tear gas against a human whirlwind.
Max says, as he and Johnny stand side by side, twirling their arms in a circle at a fast rate, forcing the smoke back onto the group. Meanwhile, Barry and Jay's fight starts ending up to a rumble, with them rolling on the ground, punching at each other, struggling, fighting.
Good work. Now, let's get back to right here, in the hands of the guards,
and let's go fight Jay. Jay, meanwhile, lays a powerful blow that knocks Barry Allen through several barbed wire and into a wall.
Jay, please, no more. What are you doing?
Barry says, tears running down his face, fear in his eyes as he looks up at Jay.
It's me, your friend.
And for a brief dead moment, Jay Garrick pauses, giving Barry Allen a chance to deliver a powerful uppercut into Jay's chin. Whoops! You blinked, old man. Your mistake. You may have had the edge in speed, but what counts now... As Barry says this, he delivers blow upon blow upon blow into Jay's face, punching him harder and harder with each strike, moving so fast that it seems to be multiple Barrys hitting Jay multiple times. His endurance! And then Barry stands in front of Jay and delivers several blows right into Jay's chest. You just don't get it, do you? Your day's done.
There's only one Flash in this city, and that's... You don't deserve to wear this! Jay says, using his last strength to grab Barry's insignia and rip it off his chest. How dare you? Barry says, like a man possessed, as he socks Jay hard across the chin, sending him flying. You've had it, old man. I've had it with you. Ever since I've cut loose, you've been dogging my every step, following me around. Well... Barry grabs Jay's leg, holds it in his arms, and with a killer smirk. Snap! Let's put an end to that. He breaks Jay's leg with a loud crack. Ah! The name, the colors, they belong only to me. When I bring this town around your ears, it will be as Barry Allen. As Barry says this, a crazed look in his face and an insane smile now crossing his jaws. He races through past Max and Giant Quick and pushes them hard, using a clothesline to knock them both out. He'll be as the one true Flash. Barry rushes back to the Flash Museum, starts looking through the rubble, trying to find the costume. His costume. The one that he desires to wear. Looking for this? Wally says, covered in shadow, throwing the flash ring right into Barry's hands. Go ahead. Suit up. What the? Looks familiar, does it? For a minute, Barry pauses as he looks down at the outfit. The costume. The colors strike him. And for a moment he pauses, as memories flood his mind. And then Barry smiles. Yes. I figured it would. Wally says, holding up the book, The Life Story of the Flash. And he starts looking at Barry. Multiple emotions going through Wally's eyes as he begins to speak. Congratulations! You had the whole world going. Somehow, you even fooled yourself. That was the crowning touch. I genuinely believed your tale of traumatic amnesia. You had to have been confused when you materialized in that alleyway. Otherwise, you would have never left this behind. Wally says, holding up the book, tapping its cover. That's right. A full biography of Barry Allen, the Flash. His life in intimate detail, from birth to death. It couldn't have been published in our time. Barry's identity isn't public knowledge. At least, not in the 20th century. If Barry hears this, he does not show it, as he just presses a switch on the flash ring, and he just holds the costume before spinning in a circle, creating a small, yellow tornado, lightning crackling along his body, as he starts putting every inch of that costume back on, it fitting him like an old glove, like an old friend. No, this book came from the future. It came with you. As Wally West watches Barry Allen ditch the reds of the Flash costume to put on the yellows of this new one, he can only continue. You're not Barry Allen! Your name is Eobard Thawne, or, as you're known in this century, Professor Zoom! The Reverse Flash! Wally says this, staring at the reincarnated, reborn Reverse Flash. And Reverse Flash stares right back at Wally. And a silent laughter can be heard as Eobard Thawne enjoys his return. For you see, the story is not about the return of Barry Allen. Oh no. It's about the return of the living paradox. The one, the only. The Reverse Flash.
By the way, I hope you people enjoyed the fact that as I was reading Barry Allen, my voice was starting to become more deranged. That was why. I really love some of the foreshadowing that this was actually Thawne. Yee! Now we get to some of my favorite parts of this whole series.